Mother speaks.
I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole, Hathor, Isis, Diana, Mami Ishtar, Kali, Mammy, and Mother.
Hi everybody, welcome to your Libra full moon readings. These are Great Mother Speaks readings. Great Mother Speaks welcomes you to this platform, a language of signs and symbols to assist those of us who are seeking to connect with the mother of all mothers as a result of mama drama trauma. It is my area of specialization. My name is Tammy Taylor. I'm an inner work life coach. This is inner work, emotional, intuitive language that we use for these readings. And Great Mothers Speak is a language that is based on that emotional sign and symbology. Particularly here, we're talking about your Vedic moon sign. We work through the moon yogas here. We work with lunar-based astrology because Great Mother is lunar energy. She is the moon, the yin energy, the feminine archetypes within us. The sun is Great Father energy, and your Vedic sun sign will represent the soul. Great Mother communicates. She is the transmitter of information, of that frequency signal between the soul and the ego. That is the ascendant sign. So you want to be sure that you check the link below and get your Vedic moon sign. If you're working from your Western moon sign, you can, but the readings won't make as much sense since Western astrology is an earth-centric, egocentric astrology. It is based on a very definite perception of this lifetime, whereas the Vedic astrology is going to transcend many lifetimes and many more ways on deeper and deeper levels than the Western astrology. And that's what we have to do to really understand and heal mama drama trauma, which is a soul contract between two souls who love each other enough to support one another in the mutual evolution of self-love and spiritual independence. Mama drama trauma is a planetary disorder. It is at this time before we enter the Aquarian age that we are learning how to love ourselves. That is in fact how we deliver ourselves from the cycle, from the disorder, the pathology of mama drama trauma, which is perpetuated through shame, blame, and guilt. We saw that the Notre Dame, our mother, our Mother Mary, Our Lady, the physical edifice will no longer suffice going into our future selves as a proxy for us being connected with and understanding our inner selves, which is the true essence of who we are, which is the true method of connecting with our highest selves, which made this contract with our mothers. And so it is imperative that when we are healing mama trauma, we understand that we are undaunted as souls who have made this decision to evolve and learn these lessons through the mechanism of mama drama trauma. It doesn't make it less painful. It doesn't make it less difficult to do the work. But what it does do, it enables that process of growth, because self-love is not something that we voluntarily learn as souls. We have to be coerced into it because it is an illusion. We are loved. So we have to, in order to evolve in self-love, be refined through the illusion of not experiencing love. And so the soul that loves us deeply enough to what we experience to be a violation of our humanity exchanges this illusion, creates this illusion with us to refine that inner sense of knowing we are loved, of knowing we are a part of the Great Mother Father God. Now, of course, the concept of Great Mother Father God in Vedic astrology is through Varuna. And Varuna separated the higher self, the soul self, from the lower self, and actually thrusting the universes into existence. And his architect of the cosmos, Shrati Karma, I believe that's how you pronounce it, had a daughter, Chitra, who is the nakshatra or the lunar constellation of this full moon, Chitra. Chitra married Surya, the sun, the soul of the cosmos, and discovered that his light outshone hers. And so she represents the gem, the pearl, the beauty of the cosmos. And her father, Shami Karma, made sure that Krishna Karma, let me get that right. Anyway, he diluted Surna's brightness in order for her to shine. And that is what this full moon energy is about. The sign and symbology of this full moon has to do with the Libra energy from 23.2 degrees to the Virgo energy from 23.4 degrees to the Libra energy at 6.4 degrees. So it's early degrees of Libra, which is why this full moon is in Libra in both the Western and the Vedic astrology this time, giving us the double message that this is the second full moon in Libra in the Western astrology, the ego astrology, that it is time to begin our planetary and our individual soul work to balance this disorder on the planet. Now, the Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck is what we'll be using as we always do, but I'm going to share with you as just your significator card, not the whole deck, that has been revised. As you know, that this deck is based on the 49 scenes of the Wizard of Oz. And Dorothy is the poster child for Mama Drama Trauma. She was an orphan. She was neglected emotionally and ran away from home in order to learn how to love herself. And along that journey, she saw the mirrors of herself through the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, and the Lion, and went to Great Father Oz by the direction of Great Mother Glinda the Good Witch in order to find her way home. And that is what we are doing. Each new moon and full moon, we're finding our way home, finding our way back to the truth of our divinity, emerging from the illusion of Mama Drama Trauma, regardless of how real the sensory experience makes it feel. Now, this full moon ushers in a transit season that cannot be defined as anything but a karmic transit. Jupiter has already gone retrograde in the South Node and K2. Saturn is about to go retrograde at the end of this month, but after, of course, Pluto on the 26th, the 29th Saturn. We don't really pay a lot of attention to the outer planets in Vedic astrology in general as a rule. But it is important to look at what's going on with the outer planets when we're looking at the collective consciousness, or what I call the collective unconscious. So the collective unconscious is beginning to go through a very deep karmic cycle. And those of us who are consciously doing our healing work, we're also going through this karmic cycle that begins this month until about September, October. This cycle is going to really test whether or not we are serious about balancing our sense of self. And what is that balancing? That balancing is releasing that conditioning of shame, blame, and guilt in our daily interactions, first and foremost with ourself, our self-talk, and then therefore how we interact with others. Are we feeling repetitively that shame, blame, and that guilt? I just see that church burning, and Catholics will be the first to tell you that the religion is based on guilt. And so we're beginning to see the fall of this illusion that we're not good enough, that we are not divine. And so that's the balance. It is bringing up the self-awareness of our divinity, which is what I'm constantly repeating, what Great Mother has given me to share, is that we are dearly loved children of the Great Mother, Father God, who are never judged, condemned, or left alone. We always have our angels, our guides, and our ancestors, just as Chitra had her father, even though she had been married to the glorious sun. Everything that glitters is not gold. And Chitra represents that as well. It is a beautiful light that shines specifically, and even when the sky is the cloudiest, you can still see Chitra. It's ruled by Mars, and so there is this great gut chakra energy and this fire. And I'm wearing this today as a representative of it because I am Chitra, my Jupiter is in Chitra, I should say, and it's retrograde. So I understand these deeper transits and these deeper cycles because of this work that I do. And I'm happy for the 2 and the 3 of you that I talk to each new and full moon, because I've come to understand that that's another characteristic of Chitra, is it's not popular. It's not a popular sign. It's not a popular nakshatra. Each sign in Vedic astrology has about 2.5 nakshatras, which are lunar based constellations. And it speaks clearly from the beauty of the cosmos, whether it's popular or not. And that's more important to it than being popular, because it's already bright. It has enough support. It doesn't need the physical, the numbers, the subscribers for it. Doesn't need that. It already has enough support, unless it is in a situation that it is being told you are not enough, you are not good enough. And although that was not my mother's intention, that is exactly what she did with this child that was very forthright in her expression and wise beyond her years. And it was embarrassing at some points, for her because I didn't care whether or not I was popular. And it's not a angry attitude thing. This energy of this full moon that I'm sharing with you is an energy that is, get it or quit it. It's like, just be who you are, assert how you feel, live how you need to live, or suffer the consequences. And this Libra kind of Virgo Libra juxtaposition of this nakshatra says that it's already gone through the highest form of refinement and the latter degrees of Virgo, as we know. So we say 23.4 Virgo to 6.4 of Libra. The latter degrees of any sign is when it's come to its full maturation. And what is the full maturation of Virgo energy? It is the self-healer. It is the one who is able to keep account of details in order to be of the greatest service, of the greatest good of others and to itself first and foremost. It is about not overlooking the details that improve and constantly improve the healing ability and the serviceability. And being ruled by Mars, it is determined to do that and combative in doing that if necessary. But with the earlier degrees of Libra, suggests that there is enough of an intention to connect with others to make it feasible, to make it useful. And that's what you want to glean from this full moon reading, is how is this information going to be useful for me during this transit, during this Jupiter retrograde, which basically, if you are a life coach or you are an astrologer watching this, you are a teacher of some form, you are a mother and you're doing your healing work, and you find that your challenges as of late have been more in terms of how you are setting an example, then the Jupiter retrograde is about, over the next few months until August, listening to what Great Mother is saying to you through signs and symbols. And this is what your readings are about, the signs and symbols of the lunar phases of your chakras for your moon sign, your yogas. What's coming through from that internal space to align you to balance that MDT, shame, blame, and guilt, with the divinity, being and feeling and experiencing that love from divinity. Feeling that non-judgmental sense of innocence and being loved. Feeling like your angels and your guides are surrounding you, and more releasing that. What is Jupiter telling you needs to be shared with others through your experience of learning, through your experience of balancing and shining your light of MDT healing. For those of you who have come here for the first time or are just beginning to be aware, even acknowledge, admit, accept your MDT, you're probably at a point where you're realizing that the denial, the minimizing the MDT, the ignoring, the abandonment and abuse, the repetitive abandonment and abuse is beginning to present to you opportunities to define more healthy boundaries and those type of toxic environments that perpetuate that shame, blame, and guilt for you. And you are wanting this transit with Jupiter retrograde to download to you what it is that you need to do to balance. How do you need to define boundaries? Show me. Show me. If I'm constantly experiencing someone walking in on me and disrespecting my space, and I do need solitude from time to time to connect with Great Mother, show me how to do that, and I will follow. Obedience is very important, especially with Jupiter, in order for us to receive more. Jupiter is very abundant, and we will receive many times whether we realize it or not. But what's the use of having $100,000 in the bank if you don't know that you have it? So that's why the inner communication piece, the inner work piece is so important, is that you know that you get $100,000 in the account. And you have something useful, again, at your access, something beautiful to enhance your beauty. With the Saturn retrograde that we're going to be greeted with at the end of this month, and that will be active for your new moon reading in Aries in the Vedic, you want to ask yourself as a teacher or as the sharer of MDT healing information, Saturn, I know that you are the cosmic Lord. I know that you are the karmic Lord, rather, and you are keeping a clock on my incarnation at the time that I have here to do what I'm here to do, which first and foremost is to heal my MDT. But I need to know from you karmically what it is I truly need to stop doing, let go of, restrict in my life, or completely let go in order for me to better balance my ability to teach, to share, and to shine my light. I need it to be made very, very clear to me. Show me the consequences of not doing my inner work. Show me the consequences. We're not ever judged or condemned, but there will always be consequences for actions. And karma, literally in Sanskrit, means actions. Okay, and so all of our actions accumulate over lifetimes. And this experience of MDT is all about getting in touch with that karma, owning it as a strong soul, and hearing from the Holy Spirit, Great Mother, the downloads that we need in order to balance and in order to heal it. Now, those of us who are really, again, in that space of releasing denial of MDT, and we're coming to realize we do need to work on healing this MDT through the guidance of Great Mother, connecting with the Mother of all mothers. You really want to have Saturn help you be aware of the consequences that you are already suffering, and have those be made very clear to you so that you can say, yes, this is about shame, blame, and guilt. I am ashamed to even discipline my child because I know the way I was disciplined and it made me feel horrible. And so I don't know what to do. And therefore I'm blamed as a mother as not being a good mother. And now I feel really guilty because I know I'm not. I see this cycle before me happening. It takes many people a long time to get to that place. But this is what I want you to do. I want you, when you go to that Vedic calculator, it's going to show your whole chart, and I would love to go over that with you. We can do a class on the website. I have the MDT support group, and we do all kind of topics there, and we could do one day just bring your chart and we'll just go over certain things. You know, just go there and sign up and put in the notes what you would like to talk about, or even hear what you'd like to talk about in those free groups. And they're very small, just like the group of people that watch the videos, 2, 3 people, 4 people, and we just kind of go over these things so you can understand that as you recognize these patterns, they have less power over you. This is what this is all about. This is what this Libra full moon in Chitra Nakshatra is all about. It's all about shining the light and not being afraid to say, hey, this MDT light is shining way too bright, this soul contract right now. And so let me just recognize that I need to address this, and get some help in balancing these scales out. Because I know you got a light and this is soul contract and I agreed to do this, but I know that I'm also here to evolve through the experience. So let me get on that part. Let me get some shine for that, for the work that I'm doing. And you'll find that once that foundation is in place with your Vedic astrology, what's going on with the outer planets, like this Neptune square the South Node and this Pluto that's going retrograde on the 26th, you will see how on a collective unconscious level, the changes that are going on within you, you will be able to see the effects in the outer world with more clarity and not have to experience so much yourself personally, because you're disciplined in the process of being observant of your healing. You don't have to, for example, always feel guilty for being a bad mom. You can begin to work on owning the role that you've played in perpetuating MDT out of ignorance and stopping the cycle little by little by little, saying, well, hey, I know in the past I haven't said anything when you've spoken this way, but this reminds me of when I was young, how I was spoken to, and it didn't make me feel very nice, and I apologize for having spoken to you that way. I would like us both to work on speaking to each other in a more kind way. And I'm going to make mistakes and you're going to make mistakes, but let's help and remind each other as lovingly as we can, okay? The next time I do something, the next time, that's what we talk about in our group, and that's what we work on, and that's what we report our successes on, and that's where we share our challenges in. So I want you all to feel comfortable in coming to me. I don't know whether or not this website scares you when you look at it or what, but I see the traction and the visitation, people visit, but you're scared to sign up for the free night thing. I don't know that the time doesn't work for you or whatever. Let me know, because that's what I'm here for. That's what I do. Okay, so we have that. Let us go ahead and get started with your readings. Now remember, your significator card in the middle of your reading is going to be from the new Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck, which doesn't have any of the pictures from the Wizard of Oz, but of course is based on that. There'll be a new deck coming out, and the guidebook is going to be great and very colorful. I'm very excited because I have gotten feedback about the deck, and people have it, and it's been a collaborative process, and I know that this is a very, very blessed healing tool for us. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi, Cancer moon sign people. This is happening, this Libra full moon, in your 4th house. That is the house of the mother. So you're going to be really, really feeling it. It's happening on Friday the 19th, Good Friday, in the nakshatra of Chitra. This was the day that Jesus was crucified on the cross. Why is it called Good Friday? Well, it is believed that he sacrificed his life so that we may have everlasting life, just as Osiris's life was sacrificed for Horus. And it's also believed that it was predestined for him to come and be a messenger of releasing the old covenant, the Old Testament of blame, shame, and guilt, in order for us to embrace the new one of eternal grace and mercy. Now, even though that message has been on the planet for a good 2,000 years, only a few of us have actually been able to embrace it. So I like to really, really welcome those of you who are watching as old souls who have in large part embraced this, and those of you who are just beginning to welcome. The inner work that your soul wants to do at this particular time as it relates to the experience of mama drama trauma is to have fun. It is time for you to really enjoy yourself. This is a new moon second chakra card. The second chakra, symbolized by the Ankh here, is ruled by Jupiter, which has just gone retrograde in the South Node. Now, the South Node for you is 6th house energy right now. It is an energy that has to do with your feelings about your daily life at this time. And there are a lot of changes going on for you in this psycho-spiritual space internally with regard to how you feel about the allocation of your emotional resources in your daily life, who you're connecting with, what you're connecting with, ideas, philosophies, particularly with regard to your own health, your own work, how you allocate your personal energy to living your life, to survive, to have a good diet, to deal with conflict and challenges. You are really reassessing a lot of that. And Jupiter retrograde right now is amplifying your ability to do that. And it's saying, as a result of this, Cancer moon sign people, you need to realize you've really got this under control enough to enjoy yourself more than maybe you are. Your moon yogas are Gemini, Cancer, and Leo. You download intuitive information in a very Geminian way. And so when you receive intuitive information, it may feel playful. It may feel very sudden, like, very like, wow, where did that come from? And it may also make you want to suddenly change course on a feeling that you had about, for example, how you are allocating your emotional resources, which basically means that we can be emotionally invested in a person or a situation such as our mothers and come to a conscious realization that this is creating an imbalance in my life. I'm overly invested in this relationship, which is why I cannot cultivate my spousal relationship, for example, or I can't cultivate my own relationship with my child. All of my emotional resources are invested in her. And so I need to create a little loving detachment with this situation and self-forgiveness and self-compassion with me so that I can give myself the time and the space that I need to cultivate healthy relationships in my own personal emotional space. These are the types of things that Cancer experiences emotionally. So once you download the intuition from Gemini, you experience them emotionally as a Cancer, as a maternal-like energy. You do want to give to others, particularly your mother. You do want to be mother-like yourself. You do want to take care of people, take care of your home. You do want to establish a comfortable, safe environment, physically and emotionally, for yourself and for others. But the thinking about it can sometimes take precedence over actually being clear about how you feel about it, because how you process your emotions is Leo. And so once you experience the emotion from the intuition that you've downloaded, you process it and kind of go back and forth to understand what it's about in a way that you want to express yourself. You want to be creative about it. You want people to know and to pay attention to, what you're doing to create these comfortable maternal spaces. And the message from your soul at this particular time, which is your sun sign in Vedic astrology, is it's time for us to have fun. And so where this is not feeling comforting for you, Cancer moon sign, where this is not feeling maternally nurturing or self-compassionate or understanding or caring, self-caring, self-loving for you, it needs to be pulled back on in order for the goddess energy. And we're all gods and goddesses, right? Great Mother, Great Father God, they are not gods. Great Mother is not a goddess. Great Mother is an energy. She's the yin, intuitive, Holy Spirit energy within us. Great Father is the law, the logos of the cosmos within us. This astrological interpretation of the spirit is Great Father energy. Whatever spiritual practice you have is Great Father energy. The practice of the spiritual inspiration, which is Great Mother. These are yin-yang energies. The gods and goddesses are us. And so since we don't know each other, I don't know who you are, you really don't know who I am, we use the god and goddess archetypes that we've used throughout time. And Hathor, the Egyptian goddess, is about pleasure, is about that maternal experience that enjoys being a mother. And so enjoy that comforting mothering that only you can provide yourself, is what your soul wants to do this full moon. And it's interesting that that is a new moon card. And as you see with the new card for the deck, it is second chakra energy ruled by Jupiter. What's bringing up that very amplified sense of being your own maternal guru is Sophia energy. Sophia is that inner wisdom that you have from that Gemini space that you're downloading the intuition from. The intuition that you may very likely be downloading at this time may have a lot to do with what your particular life purpose is. So we know that emotionally that is really how you like to feel this maternal feeling, but how that translates into the world and how you share that with the world in terms of why you're here and what you're here to do is answered by you knowing what your dharmic purpose is. Sophia is inner wisdom. And so for those of you who are watching this video now for this full moon, you have an inner wisdom that truly is of Great Mother energy. Sophia is the goddess of the Hebrew nation, the woman who sits by the fire, who keeps the fire. And so you keep this fire of knowledge, this fire of wisdom. And there's something about that for those of you who are watching. You're keeping this fire of wisdom about being the wise woman, about being the mother, about being the one who cares about children, about family, about safe space, and about comfort. And you're being reminded of that this full moon with these new moon cards, which is very, very symbolic of Great Mother energy. Great Mother energy obviously is all of the lunar phases. But when we talk about dark moon energy, we're talking about that deep internal space that is extremely yin energy. When we go to the more light, we have more yang energy. And full moon is very powerful yang energy. And this is a full moon in Libra, which has it has a masculine energy. Libra is a masculine sign. And so it's being balanced out for you. Speaking of the internal imbalances that we have with MDT and this reading with Chitra shining your light is an internal light that is bringing this up to enjoy that inner light that you have. Enjoy that natural wisdom that you have. What's in your shadow position is that you've already gotten some indications that this is really an important part of your life purpose. When we're talking emotional, psycho-spiritual space, we're not talking about an actual physical job or occupation per se. And this is what I do 9 to 5, and this is how I'm paid in terms of life purpose. We're talking about why our soul incarnated, like our soul incarnated to fulfill the contract of mama, drama, trauma. Okay, to have this experience, to evolve in self-love and spiritual independence has nothing to do with the Dharma when we're looking at the sun sign or we're looking at the ascendant or we're looking at Western astrology. That's not what we're talking about with Dharma. Okay, and so the Dharma of this maternal wisdom in your shadow, we have another double yin symbol, this very deep maternal energy. But this is third quarter moon energy, which is about releasing. So K2 is in your 12th house. And Rahu is in your 12th house. And so this has to do with where you're going and what you're wanting to do moving forward with your Dharma is not necessarily clear to you right now, but it's coming. It's really, really being downloaded to you right now as you relax a bit and accept how you feel. And how you feel is that it is necessary for you to mother. How you feel is comforted and nurtured when you comfort and nurture yourself and others. When you honor that and when you enjoy that, you will download more. Those of you who are already doing this and who are already owning this very sacred maternal energy, you may not be aware that the support that you have in doing this is happening because you are honoring those very deep downloads. And how it's clear that you are honoring it, we have another Ankh symbol, second chakra. Jupiter is amplifying what needs to be released in your life in order for you to have the time and space to get in touch with your intuitive self. And you're doing that. You're doing that. What you want is to overcome your fears of honoring that. With Mama Drama Trauma, when we are gifted with maternal wisdom, it is taken as an affront to our mothers. So who do you think you are? So you think that you're better than me, that you know better than I do, and this sort of thing. And we have to see this from a soul perspective. We have to understand that it's very likely that we could have been her mother many lifetimes. You know, we've been our mother's mother, old souls have. And we do this dance until one lifetime we decide to actually evolve and to release MDT and embrace our divinity as a dearly loved child of the great Mother, Father, God, who's never judged, condemned, or left alone. And that constant kind of grinding on us is a purification process. Oh, so who do you think you are? This is the card that tells you the support that's available for you, Cancer Moon sign people, to release. Okay, that 12th house energy is 12th house is about release, and that's the quandary for you at this time. It is in the north. It's in Rahu. Your Rahu is in your 12th house, and so you're releasing things that at this particular full moon that you thought was your future. So you thought that was just going to be a part of your life, that you weren't going to be able to share who you really are and how you truly feel and enjoying your life with this great maternal wisdom. And for those of you who are male that have this great internal wisdom, this maternal sense of love and nurturance and support of others, that it's not going to be accepted. I'm criticized for it. People don't get it. You know, they always take what I do in a wrong way. And I'm always seen as a weakling or that kind of stuff. This is root chakra, first quarter moon. And so first quarter moon is about facing the challenge and making a decision to act on the challenge. Root chakra is Saturn. Saturn is in your South Node. It's in K2, okay? And that's in your 6th house. And so your daily life is really being uprooted here as a result of this fear, because Saturn is there and it's about to go retrograde right before the new moon. So take advantage of this full moon to really look at those fears that are coming up around that kind of judgment, condemnation, blame, shame, and guilt about who you truly are, because your soul is not here for it. It's ready to enjoy itself, have a good life, follow its bliss. As Joseph Campbell said, follow its bliss and not run away from situations out of fear. Because what's supporting you in terms of this purification again is this 12th house energy right now that is saying where you thought you were going and the limitations that you thought you were going to have. No. You're being purified this full moon, this full moon light, this Libra energy. Again, Libra and Taurus are ruled by the heart chakra. Heart chakra is ruled by Venus. And so it's purifying and refining all of that. You thought that you weren't going to be able to follow your bliss. You thought that maybe you were going to have to edit and change and compromise on who and how you truly want to love and share love and love yourself. This doesn't mean that you cross boundaries of other people, and that you invade and that you coerce yourself on people. We don't do that because that is what we're actually healing ourselves from, which is why the focus is on our internal space. And being aware that when we are downloading intuitive information, and for you, that's in a Gemini manner, and you get that inspiration, first take care of you. Enjoy yourself first and let it overflow within this new moon energy, second chakra, heart chakra energy, this amplified Jupiter energy in this Venus full moon has this dark light of inner wisdom, of inner knowing, and you work with that to heal yourself. Let it be an internal abundance, because the present state of your ego soul alignment, Cancer moon sign people, is integrity. Telling yourself the truth about where you are, what you're about, what you want in your life, what you need in your life. Downloading that balsamic energy. Again, a lot of dark moon energy here. Balsamic is the download moon phase. That is when our downloads from Great Mother are the strongest. It's the card that's right below the Dagda. Okay, which is the Celtic father, the father of the Celtic pantheon, is the Dagda. He carried the big hammer, the harp, and the cauldron. Very balanced masculine energy for those of you who are in the male form but have the internal feminine energy. It's very powerful energy, that cauldron of mixology, of healing, of making things right, balancing things with this Libra energy. All of these signs and symbols that have been judged and condemned and have been made sacrilegious through malintent are now coming to this full moon light of you're downloading the truth for you by releasing those daily patterns, those disease, sixth house energies. Disease is caused by our thought process, right? Sometimes DNA, but DNA is also a thought pattern. It's an inherited thought pattern, which science has proven through epigenetics can be reconditioned. And it could be 600 generations of inherited diabetes that you never experience because you are not overcompensating and disregarding the boundaries of others, trying to give to people something you don't have within yourself, a sweetness within, for example. We do a lot of symbolic intuitive medicine as well when you go into the Ayurvedic aspect of the yogas. Now, why your soul wants to do this work, Cancer moon sign people, is because it doesn't want you to prostitute yourself in a dishonoring way. Now, we've talked about this. We're all prostitutes. That's why it's the oldest profession. Simply means we all must give something of ourselves in the physical realm in order to survive. The only question is how we do that. Do we do that in a way that honors ourselves or dishonors ourselves? Another second chakra energy. This Jupiter is going to be huge for you, this transit from now until August. This is full moon Jupiter energy. Jupiter is, in fact, in your sixth house. So yeah, it's conjunct the K2 here. And daily life, yeah. Are you giving too much of yourself? Yeah, you love to give, but let's be clear. Are you having fun? That's why Great Mother wants you to take this new moon energy as an internal breather to get clear about that. Are you having fun? Are you honoring your internal wisdom about how you want to give? Many times we'll have a certain pattern of behavior that others have been cultivated to expect from us because we've taught them how to teach us and how to all of that. But what we do in the MDT support groups is we learn the new language. And you can also read Susan Forward's book about toxic parents. And there's another book that Susan Forward has that goes into the language that you use and reconditioning your family. You know, if they're willing, able, and available to hear you. You can say, I know in the past I made dinner every night and I love to cook, but I really do need to take some time to myself in the evenings. And there's some, tonight I want to take a bath. I'm going to take a long bath and I don't want to be interrupted. And so y'all need to figure out what y'all going to eat, on your own. And I want you to enjoy it. I want you to get something really good or whatever. But this is what I need for myself, and begin to retrain them in that way. Now, will you be triggered as a result of doing this through guilt, blame, and shame? Be ready. And be ready, because how your soul wants to honor what you give in exchange in terms of your allocation of your emotional energy, your day-to-day energy, how you take care of yourself, disease through thoughts. And so if your thought is that I have to always be second, that creates disease and discomfort, which is why you need the long bath, okay? Debts, okay? And disease, debts, and what else did they say? Disputes, disease, debts, and disputes, all of these things that keep us in imbalance, which is what this Libra moon is about. How your soul wants to stay in this state of honoring itself is by just trusting your gut. Again, this is heart below energy, which is about that visceral response to, I know I'm processing my emotions in a very creative way. I know it's important for me to be seen and for me to be appreciated. And so are my triggers as a result of this blame, shame, and guilt being projected on me a result of me needing to feel that appreciation? Because Leo is one of my yogas, and that energy after my Cancer moon sign does get me a lot of times, because if I feel like I'm not going to be recognized, well, then I'm going to be invalidated and I'm not going to be valuable. This is why understanding these very natural patterns of human behavior, our cosmic calculus, is helpful to anticipate how we can keep a trigger, because they're inevitable as we heal, okay? But how we can keep them from becoming tailspins. Sometimes we can be guilted into something on Thursday and we take it all the way into the weekend, and we haven't processed it all the way until, early the next week or something. And look at all that time that it's taken away from us, which is why taking responsibility is how your soul wants to look at how it's exchanging its energy. It wants to own its responsibility, its power in negotiating its internal space. And that internal space is our energy. It's from a gut perspective, it's what's called in Ayurvedic medicine Agni, that fire, that gut fire that is the power that digests our food. And invariably, working with clients who have problems with who have digestive issues, they also have emotional processing issues, and it's always an issue with that second house lunar yoga, and really looking at, okay, so how much do I need to process this? Okay, so I've processed the fact that they're upset I'm not cooking and they wanted me to cook this, and yes, normally I do feel that way, but I don't feel it today. I get it. We're going to say I get it and I accept it, and that's just the way it's going to be, because it's more important for me to feel within myself that I feel good. I need to do something for myself. The doing part is the yang energy. And so for you, sometimes it's hard for you to determine what you need to do, because that gut energy, which is masculine energy, it's ruled by Mars, is kind of hard for you to with your moon sign, is ruled by the moon. It's kind of hard, especially with all this new moon, dark moon energy, to face reality that you are doing things in a way, things that you love that don't necessarily honor you. You're taking care of people too much because of that Leo at the end there saying, hey, I got to do it, to be popular, to be appreciated, to feel love. And not so much an artificial way, but in ways that you really haven't taken responsibility for needing to provide for on an internal basis. I hope that makes sense. That's what I'm getting from Great Mother for you. it needs to, for you with this full moon in your fourth house, give you a sense of gaining an understanding about how you mother yourself. And as you do that with this full moon and honor it, that's what I mean by doing it, you know, that internal recognition of honoring that, you're going to, in your outcome, pull the curtain on the illusion that that's not enough. That's an illusion that you just coming to appreciate how you mother yourself is the most important thing, and it's going to shine the greatest, most beautiful light of Chitra in your life and onto others, whether they recognize it or not, is the illusion that you will dispel, that it is most important that they agree. It is most important that they validate. That's an illusion. Just like when Toto pulled the curtain on Oz, revealing he was just a man. Doing this internal work, you're going to pull the curtain on that need to be the center of the emotional attention. That's not what it means to have that great maternal wisdom. That's not what it means to be that great maternal figure, that woman, that man that sits by the cauldron, that woman that sits by the fire and keeps the fire going. That just means that there is a sense of love and duty that's undying, that comes from an internal sense of self-love that's undying. It's not done to impress. It's done as a part of who you are. And you appreciate it because that's who you are. And whether or not other people appreciate it, that's fine. Because you know, Cancer, and there you go, your outcome, third eye, which is ruled by the moon. Okay, and the moon rules Cancer. And so that's enough internally. And that understanding is how you enjoy your life. Because those who truly understand it are going to be those who are going to be able to reciprocate the kind of nurturing and compassion and love that you truly, truly need. Thank you so much for watching, sharing, and liking. And doing your internal work, you are not only making your life and the life of your loved ones better, but for the planet. Remember, above all and most of all, that Great Mother loves you, and I do too.
Great Mother speaks.
I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole, Hathor, Isis, Diana, Mami Ishtar, Kali, Mammy, and Mother Mary.